Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another Saturn Aerospace stream. I'm your commentator today, Aviation, and we have a bit on the agenda. Unfortunately, the nets have been muted today as they were quite annoying on last stream. I'm joking, of course. But we love our nets. They're very informative, and they also run the mission controllers. It's just they have a lot to talk about behind the scenes today, as this is very interesting static fire, so we cannot have them, unfortunately, be able to be listened to. Now, on your pad here is Rhea 6. This is the 6th RHE4 ship, and we are targeting a static fire in just under 30 minutes. Now, you may be wondering, this is a very interesting pad to have Rhea on. Normally we have it near the launch site, but of course, as you will remember, a few days ago we had the anomaly with RHE4 right next to the pad, which has unfortunately put that out of service for a bit, you know? So, from now, we are going to be using this pad as the Rhea static fire stand. For the foreseeable future, at least. We'll see what happens, you know? Because just look at it, it's very well suited for Rhea. It already has some propellant storage capabilities rather than using the main tank farm. And yeah, it looks quite nice for Rhea, actually. I quite like it. Last night there was a thunderstorm after we had rolled it out, and we got some awesome screenshots of, well, not screenshots, photos of Rhea. Now, those are in our Discord, which the link is in the description. Now, coming up on the timeline here, I wonder if we'll be able to get that working. I hope so. And there she is. Maybe she's connected to the vehicle links, but we'll see. So hopefully we have the fueling starting in about 3 minutes, sorry, where we load both fuels. They start about 10 seconds differently, and they will take about 20-ish minutes to load. We are fully loading the vehicle today of both propellants, as we are doing a very special static fire. Now, this special static fire involves a full duration static fire rather than a normal 30-second. So we will be simulating a launch profile where basically we do the static fire and we do a burn for 3 minutes, right? Burn for 3 minutes, like I said. Then we shut down engine for about 30 seconds or so to simulate something. To simulate the coast phase. Then we do another burn, simulate the deorbit / entering orbit burn. There's only one, and then we wait another 30 seconds to get the other deal, to get the landing burn. Now, the landing burn is interesting, as we will see those engines actuate out and stuff when they shut down, and we'll go from 3 to 2 to 1. Also, right before we have the ignition, we will see those engines actuate out. That it's to simulate the hot staging where we do actually gimbal those engines out to avoid issues. Because if we were not to gimbal them out, right, you're putting a lot of force and a lot of heat on the top of the iHabitus booster. Now, that's not very good, so we like to gimbal them out and then ignite them to have sufficient clearance and try to lessen the impacts of hot staging on the booster. And there you can see that fueling has started. As well as that LOX fueling and the methane fueling. We should see those frost lines appearing shortly. And there we go. Sorry about that. Just a bit of ISCOM satellite relaying. And there you go. There's the first LOX line the first frost line appearing on the tank. Sorry. Bit of dodginess from our camera operator here, and there's that second frost line on the vehicle. Now, you may be wondering, what are those frost lines? Those frost lines is the cold propellant. We subchill our propellants to about negative 270 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. I don't work in Fahrenheit. Very, very cold. So when they hit the side of the tanks and they meet the warm air of the cape, the warm, hot, humid air, they condensate and create a line of frost because it's so cold. Also, fun fact, you might think of rocket engines as very, very hot, but actually we pre-chill the engines, which means we throw a little bit of propellant through them to avoid them heating up and experiencing thermal shock during ignition. Now, this vehicle is mainly coded by me, actually, and the software is very advanced. There is thousands of lines of code running constantly, checking that the vehicle is in good health all the time. If something were to go wrong, the automated systems can call a halt, or the mission controllers can call a halt. On my software, I like to go by the method that all the humans are always in charge, so they can hold the count at any time, right up until liftoff. After ignition, they can abort the count, and we can go from there. On maybe Daphnis's code, which is not written by me, written by mainly Quazu, I believe there is a last cutoff where you cannot abort. I think that's rather silly, as what happens if the mission controller sees something the code can't detect, like lightning, for example. Then you still want to abort. But, hey, Daphnis is Daphnis, okay? Rhea is the best vehicle in Saturn aerospace. Now, does anybody have any questions in the YouTube chat? I've been talking for about 10 minutes now, and it's getting very tiring, and I'm running out of things to talk about. So, if we could have some questions in the chat, that would be most wonderful. Hello. So, oh, nope, just a bit of lag. No questions? from the chatters. Okay, I would like to talk about this one event that unfortunately happened very. Or should I say very recently, sorry about that. The Rhea.6 static fire anomaly. That was not good. We were not having fun that day. It was very bad because we actually had a loss of vehicle. Not only a loss of vehicle, but a loss of crew. Now, I don't think I need to play that clip, but I will.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Oh. Oh no! There, of course, was the fateful events that unfortunately killed the lives of our crew. Now, this is not what we wanted to happen exactly, because we don't want crew to be killed, as that's bad luck on our company, as well as very unfortunate for those crew members. So we did hold a funeral. Here is the image of our funeral on your screens now. You can see the Carwell-esque as the pilot and the Valk-esque as the co-pilot. Now, ignore that kill count 4 on the side, as that is just so we can remember internally how many people we have killed this year. That's going to stay in the bottom right of our screen for the rest of the stream, so we can always remember those crew who died on the last Rhea satic fire. Now, you may be wondering, why are we back so soon? Shouldn't we have had some downtime and investigated the crash that we had? And I say to that, no. RHE4's explosion was caused largely due to a lot of factors, really. Main one being that it's eventful dress rehearsal and it's quick repair time. So when we rushed it to completion, we didn't actually do everything properly. It was kind of rushed, like I said. So, it's not great, right? But it worked somewhat until there was an overpressure event in one of the Raptors, Raptor 6, I believe. Sorry, not Raptor. The Anthe Engines. They're not Raptor engines, they're Anthe Engines. What parallel universe am I thinking into? The Anthe Engine 6 had an energetic event and actually caused an explosion, would you believe it or not, in the skirt of the vehicle. This then subsequently leaked the tanks and punctured the downcomer, so the propellers were mixing, and the other engines, well, they have hot gas coming out of them, so it exploded, and it all went downhill from there. The exact cause is still under full investigation. We are not sparing any expense on this. However, RHE6 is immune, as all the issues were fixed, basically. Next, you're probably wondering, how quickly can you get this out of the pad? Um, well, so first off, this is indeed a new pad. Well, I say new. It's not new. It's just reused. This pad used to be used for Phoebe launches here at the Saturn Aerospace Company. Now, of course, we've since retired Phoebe for whatever reason, and it is very sad that we have retired Phoebe, and we didn't destroy the pad because we thought, wow, maybe someday this might be useful again. And guess what? Today's that day. It is useful again. From now on, we are going to be static firing Rhea from this pad, as it is honestly better than the other pad. The other pad, we're just going straight into concrete. This pad, we have a flame trench to somewhat disamplify some of our things. Now, we do appear to be very slow. I reckon we might make it to fueling. If not, we'll have to hold for a few minutes while the vehicle tops up. But yes, of course, the mission controllers are looking after that now. I believe at T minus 10 minutes, we are looking currently at a hold. Excuse me, T minus 40 seconds. If we're not fully filled by T minus 40 seconds, we will have our hold, as T minus 40 is our designated holding zone. Now, you may be wondering, I can't see any propellant lines. How is it getting the fuel? Well, that's a great question there. Thank you for all these, what are they called? Telepathic questions. I greatly appreciate the in the underneath of the ship fire stand you see on your screen there. There is what we call the udder, where it basically interfaces with the vehicle and connects propellants and such. Then in those propellant lines there, we actually have wireless transmitters, so we can wirelessly transmit the propellant to the static fire stand. I'm joking. We have not invented wireless matter. What is it called? Wireless matter transportation yet. We have some pipes linked up to the static fire stand that are very well hidden because we like it to be aesthetically clean. As you know, aesthetics are a top priority here at Saturn Aerospace. So yeah, RHE.006 is our most beautiful, unique vehicle. Well, sorry, RHE.006 is our most beautiful vehicle of Rhea yet. Just look at it; it is so majestic. I just want to. Oh well. Um, Now another question from the YouTube chat that was totally in there, and I'm totally not going crazy, is can we drink the propellants? The answer to that is no. You cannot drink the propellants. Do not drink the propellants. They will make you very sick. Don't do that. Quite frankly, do not do that. Just don't. So you might be thinking to yourself, aviation, have you lost your mind a bit? And yes, I have. I have been yapping for the past 20 minutes, and we've still got another like 15 left in this test, as the entire sequence takes about 350 seconds ish, which means there's going to be a lot of stuff still. And would you look at that? I would say we're nearly halfway filled. Maybe we will make it. God, voice cracks. I apologize for them. Now, do you want to have a look at the clouds? Sure, we can have a quick look see at the clouds here. So this here is from our super zoom satellites. You can see this cloud here, which is our primary concern. This is a giant cumulonimbus cloud. Now I should be seeing some views from underneath the cloud, and we might see some lightning. However, this is approaching the Cape, and I don't know how long that'll take. We might have to hold here for that thunderstorm and let it pass. The next one out would be this one, which is a bit further away. But yeah, beautiful view from our satellites here of the clouds. Of course, in the middle there you can see the Cape. Let's zoom back in to Rhea on the pad. You can see the ground is a bit wet there from some previous rain. Awesome 360 here from our cameraman. Appears this in turn is rather good, unlike our previous cameraman. Hi, hello Mars Aerospace. A pleasure to have you here. Let's hope it doesn't explode this time. Oh boy, if it explodes, the Rhea program is probably gonna get cancelled. Like, not even being funny. I would not be surprised if the Rhea program got cancelled if it blew up again. There on the pad there you can see the well, over there you can see the pad with the chopsticks. Rhea will launch in no earlier than, what's it, 1, 2, 3, 4 days? 4 days, if I remember correctly. We should be undergoing the 4th flight of RHE4. Now, should we talk a bit more about that? The 4th flight of Rhea will use Iapetus 2-2, which recently underwent a satic fire, which went well. We will be reusing that booster for the 3rd time. It's done 2 flights previously, Rhea1 and Rhea2. And then we will be flying on the ship. This ship will be flying. Now, of course, we can't fly Rhea5 anymore, as we all know what happened to Rhea5. But this ship will be flying on the next flight, which was always the plan. And the reason we can turn around so fast is because Rhea6 was almost already ready. It was just after that D-stack, we had obviously some significant delays in the program, so we were just waiting for it to go. But since Rhea5 blew up, Rhea6 has just been sitting there. I don't like how close those thunderstorms are getting to us. ASP mods are insane. Yes, they certainly are. Now just under 6 minutes and 30 seconds. Anyway, like I was saying, the Rhea flight, which will involve ship 6 and boost to 2-2, we will have a planned liftoff at the set time, which is not decided yet, but it will launch and then it will pitch over and go into orbit. It will then do its hot stage maneuver. The booster will come back to the launch site for attempted catch, and the ship will continue on its way to orbit. The ship will be carrying a special payload, the first XCOM V6 test dummy satellite. Now, after that, it will do an orbit burn, where it fully inserts itself into the orbit. It will deploy the payload. It will then rotate around, if you will, and ignite those engines and deorbit itself, targeting the splashdown in the ocean just behind the Cape. Before, when we did the RHE4, the Rhea actually landed about 30 miles away from the, or 30 kilometers away, sorry, from the pad, which is ridiculously close. We were not targeting any specific area. We were hoping for a specific area, but it was not targeted. Now this time we are targeting a specific area, and we will have a buoy at that area. So hopefully, if all goes well, we will be seeing Rhea landing from a buoy camera. That will be very exciting. Now just under 5 minutes here. Coming up at the count will be at 3 minutes. We will have some flap checking. Those flaps will act right there. Oh god. Was that lightning? That's not good. So, upon further inspection of the clouds, that's still about 20 minutes out, I would say. So, with 20 minutes to go, we do have time for the static fire. Unfortunately, if it does get too much closer, too much quickly, English is hard, okay? We will be holding for probably 20 minutes at this point to let it pass. Now, you might be wondering, what are those 4 towers around the rocket? That is our lightning diversion towers, which may come in necessary today, actually, which will help divert the lightning in the event of a lightning strike, so it doesn't hit the rocket and ignite those gaseous off vents. James, with it, yes, we do. We do definitely need range. We need all mission controllers. All mission controllers are in high demand at the moment. And there we go. We have the flap check. Look at them there. Look at them go. You just saw them actuate out there. Another view of the vehicle here. Now, things are getting very close. Yes, like I was saying, we are looking for mission controllers at any stage. Please do submit an application. We would be very happy to have you on board. In fact, we might even be able to get your interview done after this test if you do it. So, if you need to know how to apply, there is a Discord in our description. You click that link, you join the Discord, and there is an applications channel. It will then send you a DM, and you fill out the application as goes, and then we will message you and organize an interview to talk to you and see how much you know. Then we will invite you to the other staff server, where we can show you how being a mission controller at Saturn works. Now, I was saying I had my doubts about that propellant filling, but it appears we have done it. We might just need a small hole. Do we have a flight termination system in case it detaches? We don't have a flight termination system exactly. We have the hefty weight of the vehicle. So Rhea cannot actually fly upwards if it is fully fueled, because it has just got so much propellant in it that it is very heavy. you can see the amount of events on the timeline there. So we are keeping a close eye on that weather, and it does look like we will be able to go at this time. And we are holding, yep, as expected, to finish topping off that propellant. No need to worry. It will take probably about 30 seconds to a minute here. Unfortunately, though, if it does take too long, we may have to hold for longer to allow that weather to pass. Do we have a gym at Saturn Aerospace? Another great question. We love having all your questions here. Yes, we do have a gym at Saturn Aerospace, as employee fitness is very important to us, as an unhealthy employee is not a very productive employee. Just a tiny bit of ground to go. Teams are closely monitoring that weather. In future, I think we will start fueling a bit earlier. You can see on your screen here the propellant level rising very steadily. It is rather slow, but even at this rate, it is hundreds of kilograms a second being pumped into this vehicle. A question here from Syntax Error Python. What would be the plan if there was a fuel leak failure? If there was a fuel leak failure, we would probably try vent all the pressure, just to avoid a detonation. But in that case, it is very likely there will be a detonation. So we can't really do much. We obviously have surrounding areas evacuated far enough away that if there is a detonation, if there is a detonation, it won't hurt anyone. So we just hope for the best. And I believe we have sufficient propellant levels to continue the countdown now. Now, it does look like we might be continuing that hold due to weather. Traditional tap dancing outreach program. I'm the CEO here. I'm sorry, I'm not the CEO. I'm the COO here. I will have a look into establishing one of those. So that's actually a highly requested feature here at Saturn Aerospace to have a traditional tap dancing program. Now, guys in the chat, what do you think? Do you think we should continue holding here for about probably 10ish minutes while the count do you think we should continue holding here for about 10 or 15 minutes and let these weather clouds pass, or do you think we should just send it? We're not launching today. We're just doing a static fire. What about sound suppression? Is there a water suppression system? No, there is no water suppression system here, as it is not needed. Rhea, the second stage of Rhea only has 3 engines, which isn't very many. Oh no, sorry, 6 engines, which isn't enough to dictate the need for a water suppression system. Now, I do believe we are seeing some lightning here, which is rather scary when we have a fully fueled vehicle on the path. Awesome questions in the chat here. Do we have a model rocket program? You guys are really demanding of all the programs we have in the chat. Uh, Unfortunately, at this time, we don't have a model rocket program because we get to launch real rockets, and real rockets are cooler than model rockets. And that's not even a hot take. This storm looks like it will pass rather quickly, actually. It should be only about another 5 minutes, or 5 or 6 minutes. At least we have lightning towers. That is true. That is true. These lightning towers help deflect the lightning away from the vehicle. These 4 towers surrounding Rhea here. They actually, because lightning finds the path of least resistance, they will strike these towers instead of the vehicle, which is a giant metal can filled with highly explosive propellants. As after all, rockets are just controlled explosives. Now, so when it strikes these towers, it then dissipates that energy into the ground with those rubber feet there to avoid any potential issues that could cause a detonation. As of course, a detonation is not a good day here at Saturn Aerospace. We do not need another rapid, unscheduled disassembly of a vehicle. Rocket fuel can't melt steel. I do think actually rocket fuel might be able to open. Is your airport open to emergency SSTO landings? Unfortunately, it is, because we are subject to FAA regulations, which means if we have an available runway, it does mean we have to open it so people can land on it during an emergency. So, unfortunately, the answer to that is yes. We would like to make it private, as it better displays the interest of our companies, but it is open. Hector 70285. Hello, welcome to the YouTube chat. You have not missed much. We are currently in a hold here because of this giant cumulonimbus cloud you can see on your screen here. And then as soon as it passes, we have that small window in between these two cumulonimbus clouds to ignite the vehicle. Would we go on an ice climbing tour in the Swiss Alps with me, assuming you only had to pay the plane fares? Would you be contributing in any way to the monetary value of this trip, Tyrannus? A drone operator here choosing to do a flyby of the vehicle. Let's hope he doesn't crash into it, as that could also be bad. appears those winds have really picked up here, and it is shooing away those clouds very rapidly. Gear and hotel fees could be paid by you. Deal, trials. We can go to a tour in the Swiss Alps. Unfortunately, I am based in New Zealand, so those would be some rather expensive airfares. But you don't have to worry, as a COO of Saturn Aerospace, I do get paid a nice wee salary here. Here we go. The clouds are now vacating out of the immediate area, and then we can start our test. Let's light this candle very shortly. You can see here we've just got this little bit to go and then we are out of the danger zone, as they say. Although highway to the danger zone. Highway to the danger zone. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I apologize. How long is hold? I didn't see. What are we gonna do with you? Here we just have this small microcell here to pass over us, and then we can continue. Look at those winds. Holy hell, that is some fast winds. Thankfully, our vehicle is not flying today, otherwise we definitely would be in the abort scenario. And there we go. It looks like we are continuing the countdown here. White lines and blue skies, as they say. And there we go. The hold has been resumed. T-15 here. There you can see those engines gimbling out from what we outline of it. And there we go, ignition. Now some gimbal tricks happening here. Of course, we do put our engines right through the trunk of the massive gimbal brake. Yeah, like any necessary. Here we go now, more rapidly. Yeah, now this burn will last approximately 3 minutes. You can see those actuate out and then actuate back in. Yeah. That actuation output is just really majority of the heat is on the vehicle rather than targeted. Double air effective. Close and relate to dangerous situation with anything to do. Well, obviously we do have no plan available during during normal operation. We actually do actually have no. There we go. Whoa, those engines are very fast. It would not be fun to hit him because they weigh several tons. He got hit in the head and that was funny. Not to mention you'd be vaporized by the water. You can't hear me, that is unfortunate. Now, we will be continuing this burn to 10 plus 3 minutes where it will shut down, and then we will have about a 30-second delay period, and I will talk to you some more about that in a second. Now, this vehicle is fully coated by me, because I'm the best coder here at Anthe Engines. Very nice to see my code working in action. You can see those beautiful purple plumes there. And we have lit this candle. And there we go. We have shut down those vacuum and shut down those sea levels. Now we are entering our grace period.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Oh God! Oh. And there we go. Back in view here of the vehicle. Now that plume, that frost did appear to bug out a bit. SEO, would you say working in explosives handling has helped you with the Slack productivity in B2B sales? Sure. Now those engines will ignite again shortly. Very shortly here, in fact. That is not... That is not lightning you're hearing there. And there we go. There is this landing burn simulation. We will go outside the vehicle in a second, but I do want to show you the shutdown procedure of the engines. And there we go. We have one shutting down, maybe. What? Okay. Just wait. Another one will shut down at 5 minutes. Sorry. Yep, there we go. It's actuated out. And then if we go outside the vehicle, you can also see the flaps doing the little flap wiggle. Simulating the flap. And there we go. A beautiful test there. What happened to what? Sorry, syntax Python error M5E. We are now waiting for the vehicle detank. You will see those vents open up shortly, and then that will conclude our test. And there we go. There is the vehicle detank procedure starting. We'll wait for those frost lines to disappear, and then I shall say my goodbyes, and I will abandon you all. saw a plane crash? Was that a glitch? Ah, yes. If you weren't here earlier in the stream, I did show the video of the unfortunate event that happened on the RHE4 static fire. That video was not meant to be displayed again, but it did. So, oh well. Now, this will mark the end of our test here. I've been your commentator, Aviation, the COO here at Saturn Aerospace. I thank you all so much for watching. This has been a great pleasure to have you all here for such an exciting static fire, to be honest. Oh, you can see that beautiful reflection there in the water. I'm going to get a photo of that. Look at that. That is amazing. And on that note, I will see you later. Bye-bye.